All right, good evening, everybody. It is November 7th at 6:52 Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to give you guys the update on the mayoral race in Houston. Sheila Jackson Lee, a longtime member of the Congressional Black Caucus. She is running for mayor, and it does not look good for Sheila. Big applause for the Black people down in Houston. They are not falling for it. They are not having it. All I can do is really go ahead and continue to thank you for sending a message to the Democratic Party that we are not playing anymore. When we're out here and we're demanding tangibles, we need to get those tangibles. Everybody else is getting something. You're going to see a lot of the Democrats start panicking in regards to the election. Democracy is not on the line. It is not Black people's responsibility to save the United States from itself. And even if democracy was on the line, even if it was, why in the hell is the Democratic Party running Joe Biden looking at the polls and what has been going on in regards to elections? Louisiana had a chance to have its first Black governor since Reconstruction. They overwhelmingly sat it out. Now, I also want to emphasize, and I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to keep saying this. By the way, I'm going to keep saying this. It is not smart. It is not smart at all. Sorry, you guys. It is not smart at all to vote for the lesser of two evils. If neither of these parties have anything that you want, you should not vote. You should sit it out. Unless, of course, you want to do a protest vote to punish the other party, the Democratic Party. I myself, speaking for myself, I am doing a protest vote to stick it to the Democratic Party just like they stuck it to me. But what I want to do is I want to share with you guys a update on the election. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I want to share an update of the election. So give me a second here, and I will share this really quick with you guys. And here we go. Currently at 6:54 Pacific Standard Time, that's 8:54 Central Standard Time. John Whitmore is leading with 60,118 votes, which is 43.2%. Sheila Jackson Lee is behind by about 10,000 votes at 50,870, which gives her 36.5% of the vote. You need to get at least 50% of the vote to avoid a runoff. Gilbert Garcia has got 9,862 votes, which is 7.1%. Let's look at the counties. Fort Bend, Sheila Jackson Lee has brought in, or not the counties, but the basic county area results. Sheila Jackson Lee has brought in about 80.7% of the vote percentage in that area. John Whitmore is at 12.9%. So she's knocking it out the block in Fort Bend. Harris County, 43.8%. John Whitmore. Sheila Jackson Lee is at 35.6%. Montgomery County, John Whitmore, 52%. 52%. John Whitmore. Sheila Jackson Lee is at 23.5%. And Lee Kaplan is at 8.8%. Let's see here. And this is everybody that is going through. It really didn't matter. Jack Christie, is at 7%. Gilbert Garcia is at 7.2%, and that's in Harris County. In Fort Bend, wow. Other than John Whitmore and Gilbert Garcia, everybody doesn't even make 1%. But a lot of candidates there. And in Fort Bend, there's really not a lot of Black candidates. Maybe 3 out of all these candidates. That's pretty interesting. So I guess Fort Bend must be the high area of the Houston area. Let's check out Montgomery here. Gilbert Garcia is 3.9. Jack Christie is 2.9. Julian Martinez is 2.9. And Roy Vasquez is at 2%. Now, one thing I've noticed in the voting block, even down in Houston, you have a very major Hispanic candidates running. I mean, it's pretty telling where this country is going. So, wow, this is amazing. So again, big shout out to the people in Houston sending a message that we're not playing anymore. So real quick, let's look at the Kentucky governor's race. The Kentucky governor's race, it is said Andy Beshear, the incumbent, has beaten Daniel Cameron for governor, and he's going to go back to being governor of Kentucky. You guys remember Daniel Cameron was the Attorney General of Kentucky that refused to prosecute the Breonna Taylor situation. And even when he was finally forced to do so, he basically lied to the grand jury about some of their options and stuff, and basically just said to hell with it. We as Black people have to start sending a message to these Black representatives that if you are not going to do what we sent you there to do and listen to us, you're out of there. Long gone are the days of we're just going to sit by and get nothing. So big ups, big ups, big ups. Let's check out the Mississippi governor's race. The Mississippi governor's race, the incumbent Tate Reeves, a Republican, he is still at 56.7%. Brandon Presley, the Democratic challenger, is at 41.8%. The Democrats seem to be losing all over the place. And what I mean by that is popular Democrats. The Houston mayor race is really non-party. So they're both Democrats. But again, Sheila Jackson Lee, for somebody who served 14 terms into the House of Representatives, for you not to knock it out of the park in an area that you live in and you represent, that is very, very telling. Ohio ballot measures, let's take a look at that. The right to abortion, 55.6% currently, and I guess if you want to just call it, I guess that would win against 44.1%. So it's almost a wrap that is something that is going to be codified or be okayed in Ohio. The Rhode Island House special election results, Amo wins. So I guess that is a Democrat. And I guess he won. Gabriel Amo won the Rhode Island special election for the 1st Congressional District. So he won that. We're going to go back to the Houston mayor race. Again, John Whitmore is still ahead, 43.2 to Sheila Jackson's 36.5. Philadelphia mayor race. Cheryl Parker, 72.6. Cheryl Parker defeated Republican No wonder I was muted. I'm very sure you can hear me now. Wow, I hated that. Real quick, I'm sorry about that, you guys. Thank you, Mickey Brooks, for notifying me that I was muted. So sad. In conclusion, looks like Sheila Jackson Lee will thank you, Mickey Brooks. Sheila Jackson Lee is losing the election in Houston. And I just want to say this, and I'm sorry again about the broadcast, but see, that's kind of strange. It's really funny that when you are giving an update and waking people up and telling them what they need to do, strange things starts happening to the programs. People can't hear what you're saying and all this other stuff. So again, I apologize for that. But Sheila Jackson Lee looks like she will go on to lose. Brandon Cameron of Kentucky, the Negro that refused to prosecute the Breonna Taylor situation when he was forced to do it. He didn't tell the truth to the grand jury what they could do. He lost. Looks like the incumbent Democratic governor is going back to Kentucky. So the Cameron guy, he lost, which is good. We got to get rid of these bootlicks. Sheila Jackson Lee doesn't look like she's doing very, very well. But what I was saying in conclusion was this. It is ludicrous for you to vote for a party that doesn't do anything for you. It is also as ludicrous to vote for the other party that doesn't do anything for you, unless you're doing a protest vote and a punitive vote against the Democratic Party. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys to vote Republican. That ain't what I'm saying. I'm doing a protest vote. That's what I'm going to do, because I want to punish the Democratic Party and let them know you're not going to shit on me and just nothing's going to happen to you. Let's let you lose a few elections and a few election cycles, and then see if you're going to straighten up and fly right. So what I'm telling you guys is this: if you got a pair of Air Jordans that you were waiting for, and you go to a store and the product is not there, you don't just settle for something you really don't want, right? So if the product is not there, you just keep your money to yourself and you go on until the store has what it is you want. And you go vote there. And it's the same thing in politics, in elections. If neither of these candidates are for you, sit it out. Louisiana, a third of the eligible black voters sat it out. And they had an opportunity to elect the first black governor since Reconstruction. And the black folks said, we don't even care. We don't even care at that point. So it is smart to sit it out if you can't stand any of this. I have a friend that's a hardcore Democrat, but she cannot vote Republican no matter what. You know what I told her? Sit it out. Just sit it out. That's all she can do. I just want to thank the people of Houston, because the black folks are sending a message to the Democratic Party at this point. Please check out the African Diaspora News Channel. They have an app out there where we can talk the way we want to talk and say it the way we want to say it. Look over there, download it on your Google Play and app and Google stores and stuff and Apple Store, whatever it is. Sign up, become a member, and we can chat it up and say what we want to say there. When we're on other platforms, we have to be a little bit more discreet, because the revolution will not be televised, right? As they say. Philip Scott and the African Diaspora News Channel, they are headquartered in the Houston area. So I'm very sure on his channel, you're going to get a lot of updates of what is going on in Houston. This is a barometer to what is going to happen in the general election, the national general election next year. Democracy is not, I repeat, democracy is not on the line, and it is not black people's responsibility to save it. It is not our responsibility. If Trump is such a threat to democracy, why is the Democratic Party still running Joe Biden as the bearer of the Democratic Party? Why would you do that? You would want to run a candidate that you know that can beat Trump. You got to run a candidate. It's almost like we're on the Titanic right now, and you see the iceberg. The iceberg is coming. And yet, even though everybody's blowing whistles, everybody's telling you what's happening, we're going to go with Joe Biden. A man that a year out is still losing in the polls to Donald Trump, a man that has 91 indictments against him. But they're going to run this guy. And I'm not saying Trump is any better. Trump is a total asshole, okay? But you got to ask yourself, were you doing better under the Trump administration? Do you guys realize there were more Black businesses formed and opened under Trump than any time in the history of the United States? Maybe they opened their businesses out of fear, whatever it was. The fact of the matter is, more entrepreneurship took place under Donald Trump. Yeah, Mickey Brooks says they don't have many options. An example, Newsom or Whitmer. Yeah, you know, and we get it. They don't have a lot of choices, but just don't elect Sheila Jackson Lee. 14 terms in Congress, and if you go to her congressional webpage, there is nothing there specific to Black people. But she's got dreamers, migrants, Israel, Ukraine, post offices, civil rights medals, all this other stuff, but nothing specific to better the lives of Black people. Even if you go to her Mayoral webpage for Houston, she has no ideas of problems. There are no problems listed that she wants to address in Houston. It's all generic. No endorsement from Kamala Harris, even though I don't think endorsements mean anything. Kamala Harris didn't even endorse her. Tahansi Brown didn't even endorse her. It's very, very, very crazy what's going on. But this is the barometer to what the Democratic Party is going to have to deal with. And I want to make this abundantly clear. Do not fall for the, well, if you vote for me and you get me in, I'm going to do this, this, and this. Didn't we already do that? Get us the Senate, we'll get you qualified immunity. Did we get it? Absolutely not. Don't fall for that. You have a year to show us the money. Show me the money now. Now, not when you get in office. If you can't give it to me, you're not getting in office. That's how we've got to start thinking. We need tangibles now. If you can give Israelis $108 billion overnight, our tax dollars, there is no reason why you can't overnight give Black people $500,000 each or whatever it would come up to. And I just want to be fair as a down payment. $108 billion. I don't want to blow their circuit, right? You don't want to kill the golden goose. So if you gave Israelis overnight $108 billion, whatever $108 billion is between lineage-based Black people, lineage-based, divide it among them and put it in our accounts, and we'll give you 2 weeks to do it. You got 2 weeks to put it in our direct deposit. Let's do that. We cannot trust the Democrats to do what they say they're going to do. It's been 3 years in office, and Joe Biden has not done one thing he promised he was going to do. Not one. We stood by him. I didn't, but you know what I mean. And not one thing. Where's that Federal Police Commission task force he was supposed to form? Presidential task force. He could do that by executive order. Didn't do it. Student loan debt. He could wipe that out with an executive order. Ladies, my Black queens, my Black thoughts. If you are the backbone of the Democratic Party, why are they in such a state it is today? Simplified accounting. It's never anything for Black people. A message is going to be sent. Exactly. And you know what? We got to stand 10 toes down on it. Oh, well, if we don't do this, we're not going to get that. And they're going to cut food stamps and they're going to do this. So what? So what? We are now a permanent underclass in this country. We are now permanent. Never no money for Black people. It is a national disgrace when you have almost a million veterans that are homeless. And then you have the nerve to tell them and the American people, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But because of U.S. policy against Venezuela, which is causing this migrant immigration, you give them everything: housing, food vouchers, cash payments, everything they need. But Americans that are paying for all of this, we get nothing. Tell your friends, talk to your parents. Some people in the baby boomer generation, a lot of people in the baby boomer generation are waking up and seeing that they have led their grandchildren and their children into a burning building. All they're fighting in the civil rights era to have nothing to give to the next generation. Do you guys realize just in what you call the white population in the United States, a transfer of $13 trillion will be transferred to their next generation? What is the estimate in the Black community? You guys want to take a guess? I think they said it's like $3 trillion of wealth that will be transferred. I think 3 trillion. It might only be that. I might have read that wrong. It might be 300 million. That's how in dire straits we are. They have made us a permanent underclass. Do you guys realize? And you got to place blame where blame is due. When Trump was in office, he said, no, you ain't coming up in here. You ain't coming up in here. These are Democratic policies. This is a direct attack on Black people in this country by the Democratic Party. And not even overtly. It is in your face attack. And we still voting for them. But they're going to learn. They're going to learn this election cycle. So again, I apologize for the sound being muted. It shouldn't have been muted, but this is the kind of games that they play. Please check out the Brother Phil Scott podcast. He's going to be doing updates on the election, and check out the African Diaspora News Channel, and check out the Demetra K Show as well. Sheila Jackson Lee, 14 terms in Congress. That means 28 years. Name recognition. The Hun with the bun. I guess that's her street name. Her what do you call it? Her her street name. She's the Honey Bun, the Hun with the bun, or the bun with the Hun. You know, whatever you want to call it. The Queen with the bun. She had tried everything. She's going to nightclubs after going to church on Sundays, trying to raise the roof, putting the finger up, doing the old 1920s Charleston, however she's dancing. 28 years in Congress. She should be blowing any competitor out of the water because she represents that area. She represents that area. Name recognition. Stand up, Black people. Stand up. No longer are we going to sit here and let everybody else eat off of our votes. If you don't like what is going on, sit it out. There's nothing wrong. Don't let people tell you and shame you. Oh, our ancestors died so we can vote. No, they died so you can get something for the vote. They died so you can get something for the vote. 60 years of stagnation. How does that happen? Other groups come here, and within 5 years, they do better than we do. And guess who helps them? If it wasn't for Black people who opened the door, these people wouldn't be coming in here. The Black Boule, they're on their way out. It's almost like the Communist Manifesto, you guys. If you haven't read the Communist Manifesto, I and my compatriot Demetra K, we have read the Communist Manifesto. And it's getting to a point to where when the people get so poor and they have nothing else to lose but their lives, why not rise up? And I'm not saying in a revolution in the aspect of January 6th. I'm not talking about violence in that aspect. But if you read the Communist Manifesto, that's what they're saying eventually what's going to happen. When you don't do for the people and they get so poor, they're going to rise up. I'll give you a better example. What was the French Revolution about? Why did the French Revolution even happen? because the bourgeoisie consolidated all the wealth at the top to where the people were eating chalk, basically, to make bread. They were putting chalk in it and stuff. They got so poor that the only thing that else they could do was rise up. And guess what, you guys? There are more regular people, the proletariat. There are more of us than there are of the elite. You see what I'm saying? And it happens in history over and over and over again. Those that don't know history are doomed to repeat it. What was the Russian Revolution about? Remember this term they used to call, especially if you took humanities, serfs? Serfs were considered no better than dirt. They were equal to dirt. These people were that poor. So what happened? They rose up. They rose up. Vote blue no matter who. No voting, no bucking. You guys remember that? Is that what they think of Black people? We are that depraved that all it takes is some booty ass cheeks to get us to go vote mindlessly for a party that doesn't give a damn about us? They can't win without us. 22% of the Black vote, Biden has hemorrhaged. Just in 1 month, he has hemorrhaged more than 10% in 1 month. If the trend continues, he's not winning re-election. And if democracy is on the line, why? I ask my friends, I ask you, why are they running a candidate that cannot win? That cannot win with the state of affairs today. Again, I'm going to apologize for the system malfunction. It's just really weird to me how that actually happened, because I've been doing videos all day and it didn't happen before. But Sheila Jackson Lee seems like she is on her way to total embarrassment. And I'm glad that Black people are sending a message and waking up. Also, real quick, Bowling Ball Martin, y'all niggas, y'all stupid people, y'all just don't know how to vote. Y'all don't know how politics work. Dr. Candace Matthews, who is also a Houston area advocate. She is on the show tonight. If you haven't had a chance to check out Dr. Matthews, and I love me some Dr. Matthews. I love me some Dr. Matthews. She does a lot of work in the community there. I don't advertise for Roland Martin. The guy is Boulay. But if you haven't seen her in action, please go check out that episode that she is on tonight. Does a lot of work in that area. She isn't one of these people that just talk. She goes and she puts people on blast, and she's putting herself out there to get things done. So that's Dr. Candace Matthews, if you guys get a chance. Again, I apologize for the sound problem, but Sheila Jackson Lee looks like she is not going to be the mayor of Houston if the trends continue. Love you guys. I love my Black people. In the movie, not do the right thing, School Days, we are finally waking up. It just feels so good to wield the power that we've always had. You guys have a great night. We will give you more updates as they happen. Thank you, Simplified Accounting. And again, thank you, Mickey Brooks, for letting me know that the sound was not on when it was supposed to be on. I'm Donovan Sadiq. I'm the recovering Democrat. You guys will see a lot more of me as the political season continues to march on.